If you're seeing this on replay, this is Vlogmas Day 18. Hi, Mackenzie. Hello, hello. Hi, Robin. How are you ladies doing? Hi, Ellen. Hello. It's good to see you guys here. It is so late right now. It's almost 8 o'clock in California. Hey, Bree. Anyway, I just thought I would come on because I have been so inconsistent with Vlogmas this December. I have just been really busy. We have so much going on at the studio, and I got home maybe an hour ago and ate dinner, and I thought, well, I'm gonna come on no matter what because I've been slacking. And so I figured there might not be anybody here, but maybe around the world, someone will tune in, or at least tomorrow. So I'm glad that you guys are here. I hope you're having a good evening, and I hope that you all are ready for Christmas, for the holidays. I'm not, but that's not anything different than normal. Anyway, if you're new to this channel, my name is Rowena, and this is Vlogmas day number 18. And thank you for joining me. And so basically what I wanted to talk to you guys today, boy, everyone's being so quiet. Are you guys still there? Do you guys have your tea or coffee? Hey, Brittany. Okay, you're still there. Oh, that's good. Warming your tea now. Oh, cool. So anyway, as many of you know, I had talked about I was away for a couple of days, and it was just a chance for us, my husband and I, to get some time off without any kind of work. And so I'm telling you this because I was shopping around in this small little bookstore, and I found this little cute prompt box, this little one here. Oh, it's bright and it's backwards, but can you see that? It's do you remember? It is so cute. Look at it, fits in the palm of my hand. Woo! Whoops. Oh my. Okay, so it fits in the palm of my hand. It's so cute. Anyway, and on here it says, do you remember? It's after dinner amusements. 50 questions to share memories. And I thought, how fun is that? My husband and I were playing games during our little trip. And so, okay, you know what? To be honest, I was actually doing some work because I was looking for things like this, right? Anyway, so we were playing a lot of games, and so I thought, oh, how cute. We could do this as a game. And then I thought, you know, memories, what a great way to utilize this, not only for games with your family or your friends, but also to get you writing about certain things in your journal. Sometimes we don't have, or we can't think of anything to write about in your journal. Yes. And so I actually never really have that problem on what to write about, but I know a lot of people do, and they ask me what kind of things do I write about or whatever. Anyway, I thought this would be a great prompt, not just for games, but also for your prompts to get your brain stimulated in writing about certain memories. And I'm really big on that. And like I've mentioned before, in my Hobonichi, when I miss certain days, I go back and I will just write a memory of some sort that I may have thought of that day, or I just kind of think back and just think about my girls, and I think, oh, I remember that time I did this or she did this, etc., etc. So anyway, so I go back and write about it. So anyway, this is a prompt that you can then get and check out and just randomly pick a card on here. Now, I was going to read through these after I had purchased it. Hey, Grace. I was going to read through these, but my husband stopped me, and when I was explaining to him, hey, this would be kind of a cool thing to do for journaling, and maybe I'll talk about it on a Vlogmas, and he said, you know, you should just not read any of those and just do one kind of off the cuff. And so I thought, okay, I won't read any of them. I read the first two or something. And then after that, I stopped. So I'm going to read one for you guys, and I'm going to try to answer it. Hopefully this doesn't get me into any kind of trouble. And so I'm going to pick a question in here. And yeah, let's see what I come up with. Now I'm going to also have to journal this after I get through here. Okay, you guys ready? So cute, this little game. Okay, so this is, okay, now if I can't answer it for some reason, or maybe I shouldn't answer it, I will pick a different one, just to like warn you guys right now. Okay, this question says, do you remember the craziest thing that has ever happened to you? Wow. Craziest thing that's ever happened to me. Oh my gosh. Okay. I guess this would be the craziest thing. And I think a lot of you already know this, but I'll tell you the story anyway. My daughter, my first daughter, okay, I'm just going to be very open here and tell you the exact story of what happened. And the reason I'm saying this is because this is going to have to do a little bit about my faith. And anyway, I'll talk about it. So what happened is I had just become a believer. And it was during a time that my husband and I finally decided that we're going to have kids. And so I had just become a believer and I got pregnant. And when I went to the doctor, they told me that my daughter, Krista, was going to be born on, I believe it was like the 19th of January. Well, my birthday is the 26th. And I remember thinking to myself, you know what? If she is born on my birthday, I know for sure that that is from God. And then as soon as I thought that, I thought to myself, oh my gosh, you're such an idiot. Why do you think that? Or why do you even think of such things? And so I just kind of got it out of my memory. And I just kind of forgot about saying that to myself. Well, she tried to come a year early. Not a year, I'm sorry, a month early than her due date. And I remember specifically, we were in LA seeing a play. My husband happened to be sick and he was not able to come. It was a Christmas gift from my sister to go to a play in LA. And so everybody was there, my parents and myself and my sister, but my husband wasn't there. And we're sitting there and I started getting those Braxton, I think that's what they're called, Braxton Hicks. And I was like, uh-oh, I think I might have to go to the hospital. Well, the play was almost over. I remember specifically it had Glenn Close in it. And so we left the theater because it was almost over when the Braxton Hicks started coming on. We left the theater and then we went over to the hospital. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I cannot have this baby because my husband's not here and he can't be here. He was really sick. And anyway, but it was a month before, so before the actual, or near a month before my birthday, about that time. And so I remember just thinking that, and they ended up having to stop it. Yeah, they did. They had to stop it, the contractions, because the baby would be premature, and they wanted her to have at least another month. And so anyway, all that to say, she actually did come on my birthday, which is January 26th. So it was only a few days after the actual date that she was supposed to come. So that happened, and that was really cool. And so then 2 years later, I got pregnant again. And this one was my daughter, Kayla. And I remember I was, when they told me when her due date was, it was going to be in February 26. Let me see, my birthday's 26, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So I had like, I ended up with a gestational diabetes. So she was supposed to be born, I believe it was December 7th. And so I had gestational diabetes. And so they told me that if I were to have the baby, I had like a 2-week window. If I were to have contractions at a certain weeks, they would have to stop it. And if it's after, they would have to induce because of the gestational diabetes. And so I remember thinking, that falls on my birthday within the 2-week range. And so I remember praying about it and just asking the Lord and just telling him, you know, I've glorified you with this story with Krista being born on my birthday, because I would tell everybody about it. And so I just kind of said, you know, it would be so cool if this one's born on my birthday too. Sorry, getting kind of teary about this. Just remembering how good God is. Anyway, let me get a moment here. And so I remember thinking that, you know, and then about, it was, I remember it was like a Sunday. And we were at church, and this is like, I don't know, I had like a week to go. Anyway, I can't remember dates or days, how many, but anyway, it was a Sunday, I remember. And, oh no, wait, sorry. It was a Friday, a week before my birthday. It was a Friday. And I went and I started having contractions. And so went to the doctor, and when we got there, it was like 5 minutes apart. And I remember praying again and saying, you know, I know that barring any complications with this baby, I would really like it to be on my birthday. And that was a Friday, like I said. And so I went to the doctor, and the doctor came in, and I prayed that right when we were going into the hospital. And the doctor came in and checked me and everything, and all of a sudden my contractions stopped, and I was like 5 minutes apart again. And I remember the doctor saying to me, okay, well, your contractions stopped, so we're going to be fine. We can wait a couple more days, and you're within that time frame, so we don't have to stop it, or we don't have to induce. And so I'm not telling this story very well. I'm sorry, you guys. I wasn't prepared to talk about this. Anyway, and so I ended up, because it stopped, then I said to the doctor, okay, I will be back next Friday. And he said, why next Friday? And I said, because my first daughter was born on my birthday, and next Friday is my birthday. And he said, I don't think so. You're like 3 centimeters dilated. Whatever that means, I don't really know. But he said, basically, you're going to be back by this weekend. And I said, okay, we'll see. So come Sunday, 2 days later, we were at church, and someone asked me in passing, hey, when are you due? Because obviously I was pretty big. And I said, oh, on my birthday, next week on Friday. And I remember my husband pulled me aside and he said, you know, you better stop saying that, because if it doesn't happen for you this time again, you're going to be mad at God. You may end up getting mad at him. And I'm like, no, I know that it's, you know, whatever his will is what's going to happen. So anyway, so I went about my business and everything. And guess what? She came on that Friday. And so both of my daughters are born on my birthday. And what that showed me, I remember thinking how, wow, the most insignificant thing in light of what other miracles God performs. Yet he knew how important that was for me and how much I would love that. And the littlest thing, I mean, who does that matter to except for me personally? He granted, you know, and so it's pretty amazing. And my daughters both know, they're now 24 and 22, and they both know how special that really is. Thank you. Yeah, the Lord sure is amazing. And so it was just really cool. And I just really loved it. And I always try to use it as a testimony. This is such a sweet story. Did you say January 26th? That's also my daughter's. Yes, January 26th. Sorry, I can't read fast enough. And it's so teeny here on my phone. But anyway, and so, yeah, so that's the craziest thing that's ever happened to me. And so it was just, I love it. And oh, I was saying both my daughters really know how special it is, and they enjoy spending that time together. And in fact, they make sure that they try to be free to be able to do something special. I think it was only once that each of them were not able to be there for our birthdays, and it was because they were abroad in Israel for school. But that's the only time. So hopefully we'll have many more to share together. And so yes, my husband is left out. And yes, it's much easier for him to remember since all 3 of us have the same birthday. And I do have a friend. My birthday is January 2, and my first baby son was born exactly 1 week before my birthday. Oh, well, see, that's cool too. I have a friend who mathematically tried to figure out how many people in the world that this could possibly happen to that has 2 of their children born on their birthday. And I believe it's like 6.6 people in the world that this could possibly statistically happen. Maybe that's changed now. I don't know. He looked that up he figured it out a couple of years ago. And so that may have changed now, but either way, it's very special to me, and it's cool. So anyway, do you guys want me to read a couple more of these questions? I'm not going to answer them. I'm just going to read them. Wow, that is too interesting. Yes, it is. Okay, I'm just going to read some of these just to give you an idea. And then I'm going to put a link below in the comments section or description so that you guys can order it if you're interested in ordering it. There is also another prompt, 50 prompts just like this, comes in this little box. And it's called Family Time, 50 Conversation Starters. So I think it'd be the same thing. So if you get that as well, you could have 100 prompts. I think as far as the same thing, as far as you can use it for the same thing, but it's probably different questions, I would assume. So anyway, okay, I'm gonna read a couple of these so you guys know. Here's one. Do you remember a time you felt really guilty? Yikes. Do you remember which musical instrument you played or longed to play when you were younger? Good questions. Do you remember whom you idolized as a teenager? Are these good questions or what? Do you remember your prom? Who was your date? Do you remember your favorite teacher and your least favorite? Do you remember one of the best gifts you've ever received? So, yeah, wow. So very cool. That's actually a pretty good prompt. One of the things I'm going to talk about, maybe I'll do it tomorrow on the Vlogmas, is gifts that you received that, or did not receive, that you're glad you didn't. And so anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and go, you guys. Do you guys have any questions or anything? Again, I'm gonna give you the link to these in the description. And also, if you guys have any anything you would like to share in the description, write it out, make a comment on maybe something that you yourself use as prompts. Perhaps you have a book or something that you could recommend which you use to help prompt you to get to writing in your journal. So if you have any of that and you'd like to share it, feel free to do so by commenting below. And so with that, thank you so much for hanging out as usual. Thanks so much, Rowana. Those combo starters are a great idea. Yes, I hope that it will be a nice thing to also share with your family. And I know that for my girls, they're very surprised at the answers that, or the stories that we share with them about our childhood. And so this would be a great way to just have family time and enjoy each other, especially during this time of the season when a lot of us will be having some days off. But again, not only as a game or as a prompt for you and your family and friends, but also to use for your journals. So hope to hear from you guys by giving me some suggestions below so that we can all share and maybe pick up some of those suggestions for future reference. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and go. Thank you guys again for hanging out. And as usual, keep on documenting life as it happens. Bye-bye.